not use the stethoscope. There are two ways to check blood pressure. One you use the stethoscope, where the other one is without the stethoscope. Okay? So that's called blood pressure by palpation. So remember that we learned how to check the pulse, right? So we're gonna use the same method, checking the pulse, but this time we're gonna use the blood pressure cuff. Okay? So it's a lot easier. Now, why I'm teaching you this method? Because it's gonna be a lot easier to understand the systolic and the diastolic blood pressure. With the method of palpation, we're only gonna check systolic, not diastolic. When we use the stethoscope, we're gonna check both, okay? That's what's called palpation. Now, why is this important? Because sometimes, well, you're gonna have a question on your exam, but it's very difficult for you to know when you're doing blood pressure, how you know how far you're gonna go. How do you know how far are you gonna inflate this? How do you know?
Is it because
when the blood pressure blows?
No.
When the arm blows?
No. When it's,
we're not gonna use the stethoscope.
No, you told us last
when it
night.
gets too tight. When it get too.
Okay. There is no number in particular because every single person has a different blood pressure. So the only way that I know where should I stop is when I start inflating this cuff on your arm, on the patient arm, inflate it, and I have my fingers right here. So when I don't feel the pulse anymore, that is when you have to stop. Okay? Because see, you're gonna put your fingers right here and you feel the pulse. So you, with the other hand, you're gonna start pumping this. Pumping slowly every 20 millimeters of mercury. I messed up all this time. And then you go every 20 millimeters of mercury every 20 minutes. So you do stop a little bit. You do stop a little bit. You can't go like crazy because you're gonna lose it. You need to know exactly where did you lost it. And when you lost it, you go 20 more. You inflate a little more. Why? Because when you release this valve, the little needle is gonna come down, or the pulse, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna say, oh, I got it right there. Because remember, you have to be checking this needle when it goes up, and then when the pulse starts, immediately you see this needle moving, and you feel it right there, and you see where was the needle at that time. So it's very important to know this is called a dial. So we are going to use this. So we're gonna learn this part. If you learn this part manually, it's gonna be easier for you how to use the stethoscope, because the stethoscope is a little more tricky. Because now you're not gonna listen to the heart, you're gonna listen right here. You're gonna put the stethoscope right here, and you're gonna use the brachial artery to do that. So let's start with someone. Let me start with Jenny that is here. Without crying, Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, you too.
Turn around this way. Yeah, I'm gonna do it this way. So remember, she's supposed to pull this all the way up.
More.
A little more. Because see, I gotta place this pressure cuff. There we go. If you want me, I have a pair of scissors. We can cut it.
He did that.
Okay, so remember these blood pressure cuffs. It has right arm, left arm. See, they have the numbers right there. So depends on what arm I'm using. I'm gonna put this little arrow right over the patient's blood vessel. So this is the blood vessel that we're gonna be using. No, lift it up like this. So right here, we're gonna use this blood vessel right here. So if you put hands are cold because it's cold right
It is
here.
cold,
So
yeah.
make sure that you wash your hands with hot water, or you kind of rub your hands before you touch the patient. So the blood pressure is right here. See? I feel it. Put your fingers right there. Press. You feel your pulse? That's when we are going to use to put the stethoscope, right? When we're gonna use the stethoscope. You feel it? Right there. That's when we're gonna put the stethoscope. But now we're not gonna press the stethoscope. So we're gonna do it here. See? Right here, immediately I feel it. So I'm gonna apply the blood pressure cuff. This patient right here. Always do it like 2, 3,